If you've ever thought about investing in real estate overseas, you've come to the right video. In this clip from the Gould Mine podcast, Ladislas Maurice, aka the Wandering Investor, shares some of the strategies and the tips that have revolutionized his real estate investing strategy overseas. Take a listen.
The Gould Mine podcast.
Just talking about commercial real estate, right? So I know that you focused a lot on like apartments and kind of like single family kind of purchases. But in terms of like commercial real estate, right? Like I'm in hotels, so I'm always curious, like what are you seeing in terms of like international commercial real estate trends? And are there any markets and or like asset classes that you are bullish on, say over like the next 5 years outside of the US?
Look, I'm not an expert in terms of commercial real estate. What I'd say is every country is very different in terms of how to play it. You know, sometimes I'll just go to a country, I find the macro interesting, I'll ask myself, how do I play it? Sometimes I just end up buying stocks. Like I remember a few years ago, I went to Uzbekistan, I wanted to buy real estate. And it was a bit complicated. There was a lot of gray zones for foreign ownership, et cetera. And then I saw the local real stock market and, you know, there were companies with no debt on their balance sheets growing at like 30, 40% a year and spitting out dividend yields of 20%. I was like, oh. So I went to buy real estate. I came back with a brokerage account. Other times I go to buy apartments and then I come back with a bunch of land. You know, in the case of Ukraine, before the war started, I was making a bid with a group of investors on large office space because the office space was actually booming there before the war. Luckily, the war started before the deal closed, but it's very market specific. So I think in terms of trends, I would say throughout everything you think you know about the US, when you go to these emerging markets, you know, guess what? Malls are cool. Like who goes to the mall nowadays in the US? I don't know. Our parents?
Not many people.
Right? But you go to Colombia, that's where people go. You know, you go to Paraguay, that's cool. You go to Egypt, that's the place to be. And go to Asia, the malls are a big thing. So it's very different.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And so, well, I would also argue that like, and I'm not sure if you would agree, but like commercial is like a big boys game, right? It's like it's really that next step up. And so just based on what you said earlier, which is like, you know, if you're not boots on the ground, spending a lot of time in those markets, then you're probably just going to get the average. So in the case of like a commercial real estate play, it's probably better to like invest in like more of like if you're going to do something like that, maybe more of like a syndication or like a fund or something like that, where like that's their sole focus. It's like we're focused on this market, this asset class, because that's where they spend and like, you know, they live, eat, and breathe that market and that asset class. That's more or less what you're saying.
I agree. Commercial real estate is a lot trickier, as you know. So if you just go somewhere for a week and you hope to make a killing on commercial real estate, I mean, you're going to be sold the worst crap you can think of, and you won't see it. You'll be sold the thing with very high rental returns, but that then turns out to be a dud once the lease expires, for sure.
Yeah. If you're looking for more tips and insights when it comes to all things real estate investing, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell to get notified every single time we post a new video, just like this one. This is Danny Gould with Gould Capital. I will catch all of you in the next video.